Phones buzzing, coaches whispering, and a board wiped clean in El Segundo. Something just shifted. I'm not talking about a minor tweak or a depth move you scroll past at midnight. I'm talking about the kind of move that forces every team in the West to revisit their scouting packages by sunrise. If you've ever felt that static in the air before a big announcement, that low hum that makes the city sit up, this is that moment. And no, it's not a rerun. It's new, it's hot, and it has real basketball teeth. You know the feeling when a rumor stops being noise and starts being a pattern? When cap flexibility, role fit, and the coaching staff's wish list line up like tape marks on the practice floor. That's where we are. The Lakers' biggest need two-way wing play that holds up in May just found a storyline that checks the boxes we argue about every day: shooting gravity, point of attack defense, and playoff reliability under bright lights. Here's my promise to you. We're going to break down the logic without spoiling the headline yet. We'll talk the money map, the rotation map, and the playoff map. We'll look at why this profile matters alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis, where the minutes come from, what lineups get unlocked, which Western matchups tilt, and how the front office can build a package without gutting the room. You'll leave this video with a clear view of why this buzz isn't just clickbait, it's coherent team building. Before we go there, understand the urgency. The West isn't waiting. Long wings switch everything. Tag the roller and live in your shirt. If you don't bring your own two-way answer, you're asking your stars to lift the piano every fourth quarter. The Lakers have flirted with fixing that, played stretches where the balance looked right, and then watched it slip when spacing tightened and the defense lost one step at the point of attack. The difference between almost and absolutely is one elite role player who does his job every single possession. Welcome back to Lakers News. Fan Report, the spot where we hold the team to championship standards and explain the game like we're standing courtside. If you're here for the real, hit that like, subscribe, drop your thoughts as we go. This community knows the details, and that's how we stay sharp. Now, let's set the stage. The Lakers' identity is built on two pillars: LeBron's command of tempo and AD's control of the paint. When the spacing is honest and the point of attack defense keeps guards in front, everything else looks smarter. Rotation shrink, closeout shorten, and the offense flows into second side actions without panic. But these pillars need the right beams. You can't ask your stars to cover for empty corners in late contests all season. You need a wing who's there on time on the catch, in the gap, under control. Right now, the gap between good and great is in the middle of the floor. The Lakers have shot creation. They have rim pressure. They have size. What they need in the playoffs is dependable catch-and-shoot volume, quick decisions off the second dribble, and a defender who'll chase shooters over screens without dying on contact. We're talking about a guy who makes your playbook simpler, not fancier. 2 dribbles, the right pass, sprint to the corner, next action. That's winning basketball in May. Let's talk schemes. In the Darvin-era play sheet, you got pistol entries to start actions early, Spain pick and rolls to stress coverages in the slot, and weak side flare hammers to punish help. A true two-way wing with deep range confidence bends all of those into better shots. Defensively, think I see onside pick and rolls to push ball handlers to the baseline. Think top-locking shooters to force counters they don't like. And think clean tags on the roller so a D doesn't have to play firefighter on every drive. Now the cap and assets. You don't chase a player like this with couch cushion change. It takes salary that matches and picks with real bite. The good news, the Lakers can build packages in a few different ways while keeping the spine of the roster intact. You make yourself dangerous by being flexible, by having multiple frameworks that all make the phone call worth taking. That's what has executives around the league at least listening when Lakers' proposal pops up, all right enough circling. The name-keeping assistant's awake right now is a young, strong-shouldered, no-nonsense two-way guard who runs hot and defends cold. Quentin Grimes. That's the buzz. That's the profile. The idea on the table is the Lakers landing Grimes and slamming shut a hole that's haunted them in the second round for 2 years. Is it signed? No. Is it live enough to map like adults? Absolutely, and that's what we're doing. First, the player. Grimes is cut from playoff cloth. He doesn't need the ball to matter. He just needs you to be honest on his catch. And he competes like it's possession number 1 in possession number 97. Offensively, you're buying quick feet into set feet, corner-to-wing relocations, and a willingness to pull on the move. He screens, he slips, he re-screens small stuff that frees stars. The jumper travels, and when he gets run off the line, he keeps it simple. 2 dribbles, hit the pocket. Fill to the next window. Defense is where the check clears. Grimes guards on the by his hip square, chest first, hands quiet. He'll chase in lock and trails. He'll fight through pin downs. And he'll take the first hit on ball screens without needing a switch as a bailout. The ripple is massive. Reeves can slide to secondary matchups more often. LeBron can spend his defensive capital on help reads instead of full-time POI duty. And Embiid can anchor instead of rescue. That's how you shave 4 points off a playoff opponent without changing your star's workload. Let's talk fit with the Lakers' core actions. Imagine LeBron initiating delay at the top 5 out spacing with a D toggling between dunker and slot screener. Grimes is on the weak side. On the swing bang, he's shot ready. If the stunt comes deep, he's 2 dribbles into a drift pass for a corner 3. If the defense stays home, it's a clean rep with a D rolling into a lob window because the nail is occupied by a shooter they fear. These are the decisions you want to force. Help off a 39% corner threat or concede the roll. Pick your poison. In late clocks. You don't need Grimes to be your creator of record. You need him to keep the ceiling from caving in while LeBron AD draw the house. He's good at winning the possession instead of winning the mixtape, a subtle but championship distinction. Watch how many times a possession saved by a quick swing becomes 3 clean points because the ball didn't stick in the wrong hands. Rotation math time. With Grimes in the building, you can run a starting group that balances creation and containment. James, Davis, Reeves, Grimes. And a 5th spot that flexes by opponent size against length, speed against speed. Off the bench, your second unit benefits because one of Reeves' Grimes staggers and becomes the adult in the room organizing, spacing, communicating. That turns shaky minutes into break-even minutes, and break-even minutes are gold in playoff series. Matchups. Against Denver, Grimes gives you more live reps on Jamal Murray without sacrificing your weak side discipline. Against Phoenix, he shortens the airspace on movement shooters and lets your bigs keep contact with Durant, Booker on switches. Against Minnesota, he helps you survive those switch smash possessions that turn into bully drives if your guard loses the angle. This isn't hypothetical. It's exactly where the Lakers have bled in the past. Risk profile is real, so let's be grown-ups. Shooting is still a make-or-miss league. Role acceptance is a living thing, not a contract clause. There will be nights where Grimes goes 1 for 6 and Twitter melts. Fine. What doesn't melt is effort, footwork, and belief in the math of good shots created by stars. The Lakers need players who are impervious to noise and timely in their habits. Grimes fits that more often than not. Now, mechanics. There are multiple pathways to acquire a player like this. Mid-season trade with matching salaries and a premium pick. A wider framework that loops in a third team. Or a creative structure that swaps role overlap for role precision. The Lakers have enough salary slots to build it, and enough future capital to make the conversation serious. What they cannot do is strip the rotation to add one piece. The front office knows this. The package has to be heavy enough to be real, but smart enough to leave meat on the bone. Culture check. The Lakers room is veteran savvy and ring hungry. Bringing in a defense-first wing with a green light on catch and shoot is not a chemistry bet. It's a chemistry multiplier. Guys like LeBron and AD respect players who arrive early, defend late, and do the simple thing at speed. That's how you earn closing minutes in this building. That's how you become part of the voice that matters when huddles get quiet. Let's zoom into a possession package that would live if this happened. Early offense, 18 on the clock. Drag screen for Reeves. AD short, rolls to the nail. LeBron lifts weak side to occupy the low man. Grimes sits corner. If the tag comes, it's a standstill 3. If the tag doesn't come, AD gets the floater or the dump off. If the low man digs late, Grimes is already cutting behind the eyes for a layup. The entire geometry looks different because one shooter is trusted at volume and one defender is trusted at the point of attack. Clutch time? Tight 5 looks like James Reeves Grimes, Hachimura Davis, or James Reeves Grimes Vanderbilt Davis, depending on opponent. You get switchable length 1 through 4, rim protection at 5, and enough shooting to punish help. And when it's a one-possession game with 34 seconds left, the inbound play you love, horns twist, into Spain has an extra wrinkle because the shooter in the corner is more than a decoy. That forces a real decision. Not a scripted stunt. The cap conversation is boring until it isn't. Laker fans understand that big swings are timed with expiring money, bird rights, and windows where stars are healthy and engaged. You create room not by thrift alone, but by clarity. Decide who you're paying to close in May, then pay him. If Grimes is part of that answer, you accept the cost. If he isn't, you walk away. What you don't do is hover in indecision. Windows punish hesitation. Why Grimes versus other wings who might be cheaper? Because he aligns with the most precious currency in the playoffs, trust. Coaches trust who guards without fouling, rotates on time, and makes early passes. Teammates trust who runs to the right spots and speaks on defense. Stars trust who won't hijack a possession in the last 2 minutes. Grimes checks those boxes on most nights. And that's why this idea has traction among people who matter. Let's be crystal clear on status. This is not a done deal. This is a logical scenario built on needs, fit, and feasible pathways. Different reports around the league have hinted at tension points on negotiations and timelines in his current situation. Those are the cracks teams probe. If those cracks widen, the Lakers should be first in line with a package that respects both the player and the market. If they don't, you pivot with discipline. That's how contenders keep their dignity. How does this impact the guys already here? You don't erase anyone. You refine roles. The beauty of adding a real two-way wing is how many players suddenly start playing a little closer to their best selves. Reeves reads better as a secondary creator when he isn't chasing the other team's best guard all night. Hachimura gets cleaner looks when weak side help can't abandon the corner. Even a D's workload becomes saner when the first point of attack isn't a leak. This is complementary football applied to basketball. There's also a hidden benefit to the star timeline. LeBron is still generating elite offense, but you manage that engine, not just ride it. A reliable wing starter who can eat regular season possessions and keep spacing honest is a lever for the training staff, not just the coaching staff. Manage minutes now, maximize minutes later. That's how you arrive in April with something left. You want numbers? Without living in spreadsheets, the profile we're talking about is high 30s from deep on real volume, strong defensive metrics at the point of attack, and a shot chart that loves the corners. That's the blunt instrument the Lakers need. Not a fake star, a real role star. If the deal happens, day one looks like this. Script 10 plays for Grimes that require no learning curve, 2 ATOs, 3 early clock threes, 2 ghost screens with LeBron, 1 Spain action with Reeves as the back screener, and 2 hammer looks for corner bombs. Give a defender with motor simple jobs and watch the film look smarter in 24 hours. If it doesn't happen, you keep the standard high and you keep shopping within your identity. The worst thing you can do in a window is panic at a name that doesn't fit the blueprint. The Lakers have been most dangerous when their role players are predictable in the right ways. If not Grimes, find the next version who shares those bones. Timeline talk. You work the phones, you stay patient in public, and you keep winning in the meantime. Nothing sells a target on your role like a locker room that knows itself and a coach who keeps usage honest. The market always rewards clarity. For the fans, your turn to be the front office. What kind of package would you actually send for this? If it costs a first and a rotation forward, are you in? Where do you draw the line on swaps, on protections, on including a young piece? Would you prioritize keeping size, or would you trade size to get shooting defense with more reliability? Drop your frameworks below and make the case. We read them, we weighed them, and this community sharpens each other. My personal take: if the cost stays steep, but sensible and the structure preserves the core, I pull the trigger because a dependable two-way wing next to LeBron and a D is the cleanest way to turn good possessions into great ones when it matters most. This is a speculation,